When we were children, our imaginations overflowed, and we created in our minds a world full of irresponsible fun that we controlled with a whim. We turned boxes into spaceships and race cars, and we created adventures that had no substance outside of our fertile minds. During our youth, reality abided by our wishes, and we could recreate our world the next day however we desired.
As we grew older, most people matured and assumed a more adult role within our society. Reality took over from the fantasies of youth, and we assumed the mindset of a person who works and lives in a society that is shared with millions of other people both like us and not. We embraced the concepts of responsibility, of socially acceptable practices, and of the laws that govern us all. Most experts in mental health agree that this is a healthy progression away from the delusional state of mind that dominates our youth. Sadly, as was witnessed in Meridian Place on Saturday, April 17, 2021, not all people who are physically adults follow this path to healthy mental development.
Well, I started this last weekend because Fidiot Ford said that clothing is non-essential. And I didn't know if I was going to do this again because I got arrested last weekend. But I got contacted on Facebook by a woman named Sage Ferguson. She's a 28-year-old. 4 years ago, she suffered a spinal injury. She's paralyzed. She's in a long-term nursing home down in Toronto. She started smoking again because the only people allowed outside because of this lockdown are smokers. She can't even go outside for a breath of fresh air. Well, she caught COVID. She was in intensive care. She almost died.
During a pathetic and illegal display of childlike selfishness and immaturity, a group of about 500 self-labeled protesters touted loudly that they have the right to threaten the lives of others by willingly and wantonly refusing to accept the health protocols that have been accepted by the adults of our society due to the pandemic. The COVID-19 outbreak is a once-in-a-century threat that has so far killed more than 3 million people across the globe. Regardless, these self-absorbed malcontents see themselves as somehow special, and non-accountable for their actions that threaten the lives of everybody else in our shared society. We share the roads, and the parks, and the emergency services that are all provided by our shared society. However, for some reason these delusional thinkers tout that they can choose what laws by which they wish to abide, and they can ignore whatever socially accepted responsibilities they just don't like or wish to accept.
They came to me and they asked, well, what can we do? What's this common law thing? And what I gave to them, which is available on our website, stand4the.ca or .com, either one, there are some documents from what is called the International Tribunal of Consciousness. This is the cool part. All of these COVID measures, masks, vaccines, distancing, isolation, doesn't matter. It's already being put through trial. There is already an order to any leader, mayor, premier, prime minister, whatever. There's already an order to cease and desist under the international covenants and treaties. This Tribunal of Consciousness served the royal family. Days later is when Prince Philip ended up in the hospital. You folks may have heard yesterday that a sergeant of the Peel Police in uniform stepped onto our side yesterday. March 20th, Classical Martial Arts Canada, Stand for Thee, and a lot of other people stood up for their freedom when we convened a common law court in Peel on March 20th, and Bonnie Crombie was found guilty for crimes against humanity for the parents in defense of the children. What I'm going to do when I get home today is I am going to be messaging and sending letters to the police associations demanding the arrest of Doug Ford. This is a criminal, and of course, with me, it's always children first. And when we protect the children first, we protect everybody. These are criminal violations. These are international crimes against humanity and genocide. So, however you want to do that, if you want to do that, it's all free will and choice. But this individual and many others are committing slavery on every single one of us. It ends when you, as an individual, say that it ends.
First, it was supposed to be for 2 weeks. And just to flatten the curve. And now, after more than a year, we are still here. We are still here with authoritarian governments that are violating our freedoms. So I'm very pleased that you are here, because freedom is the most important value in a free society. I'm looking at what is happening right now in our country. I'm looking at what happened in communist China, and I feel like I'm not in Canada anymore. I'm a proud Canadian like you, and you know, we need always to fight for our freedom, because right now we cannot take our freedom for granted anymore. Our children must be able to go to school in person without wearing any mask. Our churches must be reopened. We must defend our freedom, our way of life, our Western civilization values right now against these authoritarian governments in Ottawa, in BC, in Quebec. Enough is enough. We believe in individual freedom, in personal responsibility, respect and fairness, and that's not fair what is happening to us right now. But what we don't want a vaccine passport. We know everybody must be able to choose if they want a vaccine or not, and we'll respect that. For me personally, I'm 58 years old. I think I'm in shape, and I'm looking at the data. If I have COVID, I have 95.95% chance of surviving. So I won't have that vaccine. That's okay.